Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Justin, I gotta tell you, the last 2 Thursdays I think have been the 2 favorite hunting days, at least of my picks, as far as nice weather goes. And here we are again. We're in the office.
I don't know that I would call today nice weather. It's cold and 40-mile-per-hour winds out there. I prefer to be in the office today.
Well, I tell you what, I would prefer to be in a deer stand today. Wind does not bother deer, and it's cold.
Yeah, but it bothers me.
Well, all right. He's a little bit more of a sister than I am. So
I'll just get in a ground blind on days like today. But I do see Mr. Graff is, of course, sporting a new sweatshirt today that he didn't tell me about. He just shows up with the new gear. And
Dude, you got to know the right people, man. You got to know.
Who do I got to know? I know you.
They're in our room. They're in our...
Well, I'm busy working all day.
Forget about Justin. If you guys want to get a cool Bowhunt or Die hoodie like I have right here, this hood too is a good one. It's doubled up. These babies are in our website, bowhunting.com, under gear. You got to get yourself one of these. Well, you'll have one before Justin gets one.
I'm going to grab one before I leave the office today. So guys, let's get into the hunting action for this week. First up, we got Richie music.
Don't forget about those pumpkins.
What about the pumpkins?
Well, you don't forget, guys, at the end of this episode, the winners have been chosen. I tell you what, there are some awesome pumpkins.
There are some good pumpkins.
There are some good pumpkins.
Stick around to the end to see that. So back to what I was saying, guys. We got Richie music actually on October 18th, which was a few days ago. Actually, same day I shot my deer. He's here in Northern Illinois in a brand new piece of property. So let's check in with him now.
This is like the 8th sit on this new farm. We've yet to see a shooter buck. They're picking the corn as we speak to the south field. We've got a south wind. I'm hoping that pushes these deer into this creek bottom. They'll never wind us. Hopefully the combine pushes them all out of there. We're going to see some deer coming through there tonight, but we're getting ready. We're spraying down. It's super early. It's literally like 10 minutes after 2, but I want to get in early. They're picking the corn. The deer could bump out of there at any time, so we're going to have a long sit this afternoon, but definitely worth it. It's just about to kick off here in the Midwest. Next 10 days, things are going to really start to heat up, so excited to get in the tree. We're going to get suited up and head right over some Bowhunt or Die. All right, before we head out tonight, we're going to change up the pace a little bit. I'm going with the old war paint. Never hurts. We're going to try tonight and see if this will bring us any luck. So here we go. It ain't pretty by any means, but it'll work. We just made it up into the tree. October 18th, it's about 2:45. Once again, the wind is not correct. It's blowing that way. Man. We're gonna ride it out anyways. We're on the farthest east end of this woodlot. So the deer have about 3/4 of a mile of creek bottom and timber to transition through this way. The wind blowing that way, I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna get settled in, sit tight, do a little bit of rattling, see if we can't draw one up out of that creek bottom. I can hear the combines running off to my south. They're picking that cornfield down, so with any luck, they're gonna push a few deer up into this way. So should be a good sit. Excited to be in the tree. know I got it all on the Tacticam too. Let me turn this thing off. Unbelievable. I've been at it 9 days. This is a brand new piece of property. I rattled and grunted to cut the cornfield to the south. That buck came right up out of that cornfield. I know he did. He came right in. He was going right to my ting stripper. I'm super pumped. I can't believe that just happened. Yes, bow hunter die, baby. Yes, yes, yes. This just goes to show persistence pays off, guys. The middle of January, I had nowhere to hunt. I put ads on Craigslist looking for anybody that would lease me some ground to hunt. I knocked doors. I did whatever I could to secure a place to bow hunt. And you know what? It worked. So don't sit at home and say, oh, I got nowhere to hunt. You know, I'm not going to do it. Get out there, knock on doors, get on the internet, start looking for places. It can happen. Proof's in the pudding. It worked for me. We just shot a great buck in Illinois. I couldn't be happier. Yes. All right, guys. Point of impact was somewhere right around here. He went crashing off. See if we can get some blood right away. Oh yeah. Where did he crash through here at? Bunch more. He's pumping here. Bunch more. You were looking at one happy bow hunter. Big buck down. I see him laying off in the right at the creek. Let's go check him out. Wow, what a buck. Unbelievable body size. You know, I rattled and grunted tonight in hopes of pulling a buck in, and that we did. You know, I'm guessing this is a mature deer. Just looking at the sheer body size, I mean, he's got to be a mature buck. I'm happy. Nice 8-pointer. Great hunt. Great footage. He came right in. What an unbelievable evening here in Illinois. You know, we've been going hard here the last 9 days trying to get it done, and good Lord willing, we pulled it off tonight. He came in with plenty of light. You know, we had great filming light to get it done, and I'm super happy with him, you know. What a buck. I will tell you this. I mean, I smoked that deer. You look at that hole, that deer is, that is an unbelievable entry hole. This deer ran, all kidding aside, guys, I've gone 150 yards. This deer ran till he had nothing left. These big bruisers are tough. I can't wait to get home and check out the Tacticam. I had the Tacticam mounted on the bow, trying to catch that second angle, so I can't wait to get home and see what that looks like. But super pumped. On the board with the first buck of the year here in Illinois. Couldn't be more excited. Hunt safe, hunt smart, and most of all, have fun, guys. That's what it's all about. I'm already looking forward to getting up in the tree again. The next 10 days are going to be unbelievable here in Illinois, and you know, I still got a tag to fill, so who knows? You might see me sitting behind another bruiser yet, guys. Bow hunt or die. Best of luck to all of you out there.
Well, it does go to show you, Justin, if you take the time, you talk to people, you talk to friends, you never know who you're going to meet, hunting, lease network, whatever, you can find good places to hunt. And this is a case where Richie did do his homework and he did find a new place to hunt, went in there, put some time in, and it paid off good for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not an easy thing to do. It's probably, you know, one of the hardest parts about hunting, especially I mean, yeah, where we live, I mean, we're in the suburbs, and it's really hard to find, you know, a place to hunt. But I mean, the same holds true for pretty much everywhere out there nowadays. But I mean, Richie just goes to show, you know, a little bit of persistence certainly pays off. And
I want to add to that, Justin, because I mean, you take a look at your deer. I mean, you know, your deer was on a brand new piece of property that we did get through the hunting lease network. I mean, anyone could have access to that and be able to search out those kind of properties and get together with friends and team up to get spots. And even Richie's spot was a brand new spot within the last literally month that he got in there. So, I mean, it can happen. And of course, you always have public land. And I know a lot of guys that are pulling some good deer out of public land. So don't, just because you feel like you may not have a spot, never stop asking, never stop knocking on doors. You just never know when you're going to get lucky.
Right, right. And so, I mean, back to Richie's hunt, I mean, pretty textbook, really. I mean, mid-October, he rattles, buck comes in, point blank, you know, multiple cameras running, makes a great shot on that deer, is able to recover him pretty quickly. I mean, that's everything you want in a hunt.
Everything. I mean, I have to admit, I mean, I enjoyed all the footage. I love the textbook style where that buck comes in, walks right by the scrape. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess one other point to mention too is, you know, you look at that deer's body. I mean, he was huge. I don't know what he weighed, but I mean, that was just a giant deer. Not much for headgear on top, and you know, a lot of guys, you know, maybe would have passed that deer, right? Because they're like, yeah, he's not big enough. I mean, that was an old, mature deer.
Oh, yeah.
His teeth were worn down basically to the gum line. I mean, he was probably an 8-9-year-old deer. You know, so what if he didn't have a huge rack? I mean, that's a trophy. That's a difficult deer to kill, regardless of the size of the antlers that are on his head. So, you know, good for Richie, you know, shooting a big mature deer.
Well, and I can contest to the size of that deer. I mean, I was out helping with photos. I mean, it took three of us to maneuver that deer to get it to where we wanted it for some photos. So it was an awesome early season deer.
Yeah, so congrats to Richie. Next up, like I told you guys last week, we're going to check in with Jennifer DeCroo. This is Dustin's wife. They're out in Wyoming, and they're actually heading out. She's trying to harvest her first big game animal with a bow, so let's see how she does.
Well, it's the end of September and our elk hunters are gone, so we're gonna go out tomorrow and try and get me an antelope buck, and we're gonna shoot a few arrows right now and make sure I'm all sighted in for tomorrow. Bow hunt or die. Welcome back to Wyoming. It's Wednesday, September 23rd, and we just popped up a blind. We've got some antelope looking at us, a little curious, but it's the rut, so we're not really worried. We're gonna set up some decoys, and Dustin had the day off, I had the day off, so we thought it would be a nice day. It's gonna be warm, see if they won't be coming to the water hole today. So if we do get one down, it'll be my first big game with a bow, so that's pretty exciting. So stay tuned. Bow hunt or die.
This is life in a blind with a wife.
Well, we had 2 bucks come in, and we couldn't find the rangefinder, so I ended up missing and shooting a little too low, but they're still hanging around a little bit. They're not quite sure what happened, and we've got some more bucks hanging around. They're kind of coming at us from all angles, so we're trying to get that decoy out there without any of them seeing us, so hopefully we'll get it out there and draw some more in.
Alright, so
We are on our way out to the antelope blind for our second try for Jen to shoot an antelope, because the first day, I don't know who her guide was, but he did not give her a proper yardage. So the arrow flew a little bit low. So anyway, on our way to the blind now. We stopped and got pretty much any snack and drink that you can imagine. It's gonna be like 90 degrees today, so hopefully they're coming to the water hole. They're pretty ruddy, so we may stick up the decoy again, see what happens. So, you don't think so?
Buck didn't do too well for us next time.
Yeah, little Bucky, he brought him in. He just didn't bring him in on the wrong or the right side of the blind. So,
all right, here we are again, Friday, September 25th, and back at the same water hole that we were at a couple days ago. Last time we got here, we had 2 bucks come in right away, so we're all set, ready to go, just waiting for Dustin to get back with the truck. Got my scent lock on, got my Matthews Jewel all ready to go, so hopefully we'll have the same luck we had Wednesday. We'll just maybe have some yardage and a rangefinder handy this time, so hopefully we'll get it done today, this morning, and go home. I didn't see him because he came up and over, and all of a sudden, there he was, so.
it may have been a little bit back,
He
but
was a little back.
easy there. But we'll review the footage and see. But that's why, and we say this over and over and over again, but that's why you shoot a big, nasty mechanical. That's a Spitfire Max. She's shooting right at 50 pounds. But if you shoot them back, the chance of recovery with a giant mechanical are like way, way, way better than.
Yeah,
We're gonna give it a minute, review the footage.
Hopefully it did the job.
Bowhunt or die. Pick her up.
It hit him.
Lots of blood right there.
Okay.
Choose your other hand. Right here, she's caked in blood.
Yeah. He was about 200 yards right down the fence. Just as I guessed, he didn't hop it, which is nice. That's exciting.
I know.
Actually went like the way it was supposed to go. First big game animal, first Wyoming antelope. I've seen a lot of them shot, but never actually gotten one myself, so it was exciting. We've been sitting, it's about 11 o'clock, we've been sitting out there for about an hour and a half. Dustin probably thought I was talking a little bit too much. And this is the first buck that came in. He came in right about 30 yards, and I didn't want to shoot any further than that because that's what I was comfortable with. And he stopped right about 30 yards. We probably have a good view on the stealth cam on the other side. He was quartering away just a little bit, so I shot him a little bit far back, but came out good on the other side. Took off. We thought he was gonna be a little bit farther than he was, and he was just about 200 yards, so I was happy with that. My biggest fear was making a bad shot, so nobody ever wants to really do that, so I was happy. I was a little worried at first, and when Dustin found him, my wonderful guide that I was so happy to have on my first big game kill, was with me. I've been after Todd a little bit to get some more women's apparel and more of a female presence on the show, so he finally took a chance with me, and I'm excited to represent all those female hunters that watch the show and everywhere else, and hopefully we'll have some more successful hunts this year. Bow hunt or die.
Well, Todd, you know, as we saw in the footage, it wasn't the best shot in the world, and Jen admits it. You could tell by her reaction after she shoots that animal. It's not where she wanted to put that arrow, but it got the job done. Dustin makes a great point about, you know, the large mechanical broadhead, and that can be debated back and forth, fixed blade versus mechanical. Like you said, more penetration, less penetration. Everybody's got their opinion out there, but in this specific instance, it definitely helped put that deer down, or that antelope, I should say. You know,
right, and of course, we can't show all the footage. I mean, there's only so much time, but I mean, you know, Jen does talk about, you know, what her limitations are. And guys, you know, as bow hunters, that's the decision that you have to know. I mean, you have to know what your ability is. And when you go beyond your ability, that's when you're not being a good ethical bow hunter. And that's what's important. Jen knew that she was not going past 30 yards. She was sticking with that. And you know what? She definitely didn't take a shot that I think was a poor angle, or a shot that she shouldn't have took. Unfortunately, the arrow didn't make its mark.
Yeah, and I guess one thing that I want to talk about that I heard Jen say in her recovery interview that I think a lot of people, myself included, have fallen into this trap over the years, is that she was worried about making a bad shot before she let that arrow go. Yeah. And unfortunately, when you put yourself in that mindset, because I've been there, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead of being worried about making a bad shot, you need to be confident that you're going to make a good shot, right? So it's just a different mental way of going about looking at it. And when you're more confident in your ability and you put that pin where it needs to be, and before it goes, you know, you're telling yourself, I'm going to make this shot count, you're so much more effective when you go up there. It'd be like a baseball player going up and be worried about striking out every time he goes up there versus confident that he's going to, you know, make contact and hit the ball.
This is like Anthony Robbins kind of stuff here, man.
Well, let's face it. I mean, my last 3 years have been pretty bad, you know, up until this year, and that was my mindset the last couple of years. Was when I drew my bow back, I was more worried about making a bad shot than I was worried about, you know, or being confident that I was going to make a good shot. And I've changed that mindset going into the season, and it's really helped me. So, I mean, if there's anybody out there that's suffering from that same kind of just mental hurdle, it's just something to keep in mind.
And, you know, I had this plan. I forgot to follow through with it today. I was going to bring one of the small Reinhardt ball targets, you know. And guys, I mean, this is the time, too, of the year where you're getting up early, you're getting in the stand, you're putting in those extra hours. You know, fatigue is starting to set in terms of the fatigue of just getting lack of sleep, and you're sitting there for hours and not seeing an animal, and then that appears. You got to bring that little target with it. You got to set it up, and even if it's just even 10 or 15 yards away, and you're, oh, I'm worried about scaring the deer by my truck. Don't worry about it. Let those couple arrows fly. You will feel so much better when you're walking in your stand.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we're dragging this out pretty long, but
you know,
after I shot my buck, the deer died, and we talked about it. It was a good hard shot, but it's not where I wanted the arrow to go, and it was nagging at me like you wouldn't believe. So I brought my bow into the office. I started shooting, and sure enough, I was 4 or 5 inches low on every single shot. No, for real. I mean, I put it in the vise. I set it all up, and somehow, some way, I mean, I must have knocked my rest. It was probably close to a 1/4 inch low, which was causing me to shoot low. So, I mean, it's just, guys, you got to remember to shoot your bow during the season. You got to check your equipment. You know, it only takes one bump, one knock, one something to throw it off, and you don't know it. And when that chance comes, I mean, I got lucky that I shot a little bit low, but I mean, a little bit left or a little bit right, you just never know what's going to happen. So make sure that you're taking the time to practice and check your equipment.
You did do that during lunchtime, right?
No, I did it during the day.
Yeah,
when I should have been working.
That's what
but you
I
weren't
figured.
here, so it doesn't matter. So, guys, next up, we're going to hop in a tree over in Missouri with Kent Penny. He has actually a pretty cool little hunt here, so let's check this out.
All right, guys, welcome to my wife's kitchen. I am going to be using the CanCooker today, and I'm gonna cook some deer loin. It's a stuffed deer loin that Dalton kind of created, and we're still perfecting it, but it is delicious, and we're gonna try it as a CanCooker today. I went hunting this morning, and unfortunately, no deer for me, but my neighbor shot a nice buck the other day and was nice enough to let me have one of the deer loins. So we're gonna give it a shot. It's gonna be good. Stay with us. Alright, first we'll take a third of this deer loin, and starting about a third of the way up, just cut through to the other side. You gotta be real careful, you don't want to go too deep. Just kind of butterfly it open. Oh yeah, here we go. So you get it butterflied open, nice and pretty, and that is going to be our base for stuffing all our ingredients in there. So let me get them ready and I'll show you stuffing them in there. Alright, we're back. First off, we're going to take some butter and just spread it out a little bit on there. Then we're going to take some green olive spread. Just kind of spread it out a little bit. Me, I like it a little spicy. So we're going to take a few jalapenos. Little all-purpose CanCooker seasoning. And do a little butter garlic salt. Seasoned salt. And a little Creole seasoning just on the one side. Then a little bit of cheese. Alright. Now I'm going to get some, hopefully I can find some twine, wrap that up, fold it together, tie it tight. We're going to drop it down in the CanCooker, see what happens. Alright guys, I couldn't find no string, so I found some toothpicks, got it folded up, put one on each end, a couple down the front, keep it from falling apart. I already got a little water down the bottom of the CanCooker, and I got the grate down there. So I'm going to stick this right on top of that grate. Fits in there perfect. Put a little lime juice in there. Fits in there perfect. We're going to set it on the stove and let this thing, we're going to let the steam get up there. And then after it steams, I think I'm going to let it go for about 20 or 30 minutes after steam comes out. And we'll check on it. I would use the multi-burner fuel source, but here at home, I like to use that when I'm camping, so, and I'm out of fuel. So we're going to put it on the stove and we'll check on it here in a few. Guys, there's the 20-minute timer. Let's check this thing out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's juicy. Oh, perfect. A little pink in the middle. Alright guys, well here it is. Oh, doesn't that look good? See, the cheese is like melted off, but that's good. I am going to sit down in front of the TV and watch the latest episode of Bowhunt or Die, and I'm going to enjoy me some deer backstrap. Hope you guys like it. Give it a shot. Experiment on your own. CanCooker's so easy, even Kent can do it. Bowhunt or Die, baby. What's up, guys? Kent Petty here at bowhunting.com. Getting ready to go out on an evening hunt tonight, and been out a few times already, so I'm just going to throw my scent lock in the dryer to reactivate it. It says just 40-45 minutes on high heat in the dryer. Reactivates everything, so I'm gonna throw it in there, and while it's drying or reactivating, I'm gonna take a shower in my dead downwind. Not the best wind tonight to be hunting for the stand I chose, so taking every precaution I can. Bow hunt or die, see you in the stand.
Just started raining a little bit. This front might be getting here a little sooner than I thought. That's alright. It's gonna wash away all that sand. I'll walk down the middle of my little food plot I have here, so it might be wet, but I don't think it's gonna last too long. Well, maybe. I haven't checked the radar. We'll see how it goes. A little bit of rain never hurt nobody. Well, guys, just shot a big old mature doe. It's right at the last light. I was getting ready to pack it up, and she just showed up. So we're gonna give it a little bit, then we'll go down a tracker. Bow hunt or die, baby.
Alright guys, just got back to the truck, looked at the footage. Pretty sure I made a good shot on her. I thought I heard it crash. But we're going to get out of the truck, walk back down there and recover the arrow and follow some blood trail. So that is a good looking Spitfire. Spitfires, NAP Spitfires do the trick. Look at that. That would be the entrance side. That's the exit side. Look at that. Just pouring out both sides. There she is. Big old doe. That's the exit hole. Alright guys, here she is. Big old doe. As Todd and Justin call it, a trophy doe. She's old, she's big, but super excited with her. My freezer is empty. Need some deer meat to fill it up. And as you saw on that blood trail, these NAP Spitfires are just phenomenal. Clean pass through. Entrance hole was right behind the shoulder, came out a little farther back. I'm pretty sure I heart shot her because that blood trail was only like 30 yards, so can't believe I didn't see her pull from the stand. Super excited. This no cam is shooting awesome. Well, that's it guys. Got my meat in the freezer. Now it's time to start hunting them big boys. Bow hunt or die, baby.
Kent, I can only feel what you were feeling when here comes the combine. You're like, okay, maybe that's gonna be it, and then here comes another one. I know that feeling where you think, okay, I'm sneaking in here, guys. It's gonna be a great set, and then all of a sudden, the tractors are coming. It's always fun.
But it is funny to just look at the fact that it doesn't really affect the deer movement. And not only did we see that in Kent's hunt here, but I remember years ago when you killed that buck right there behind us, the combines were rolling. There was one point, I think the combine rolled 60, 80 yards behind your tree stand.
Oh, it was closer now.
Harvesting corn.
He's waving at me.
Yeah, and then here comes, a giant buck, just a few short minutes later. So just goes to show you, you got to stick it out. The deer are definitely used to seeing those tractors out there, and it doesn't really bother them.
No, it doesn't. He makes a great shot on a doe. And just a classic good hunt. He stuck it out. In that case there, it was still a little bit earlier in the season, and the does, were moving a little bit later, so the footage is a little bit darker. But, with the camera gear that we have, you only can, unfortunately, you lose time in the woods. But he makes a great shot and harvests a great trophy doe.
A good trophy doe for Kent. So, guys, that's all the hunting action we've got for this week's episode. Of course, we want to take a couple seconds to thank the folks who sent in their trophy photos for this episode, and Brandon picked out some doozies for us. So let's do this.
I don't know if it's Brandon or the people are catching on the fact that you and I are just not good at pronouncing some of these.
Well, I'll give you the first one. You start, buddy.
All right, here we go. I can handle this one. Chris Tillman.
Vadim Garnick.
Austin Weisenberger.
Eric Kilzewski.
Drew Wilhite.
Tyler Bostock.
Hey guys, those are some great trophies. Keep them coming. Again, if you want to see yourself right here in an episode of Bowhunt or Die, you send them to info@bowhunting.com, or you can submit them right on our website at bowhunting.com. So, Justin, let's dive into these pumpkins. There are some good ones.
We probably had 40, 50 entries roll in, I would say. Some really clever ideas, but I believe we've picked out our favorite top 3.
We have. And
pumpkins.
Beyond the top 3, what we are going to do is Justin's going to put together a sweet post with all the pumpkins on our website. So
we'll do a blog post on bowhunting.com so you guys can see all the pumpkin submissions. So if you guys sent in your pumpkin, make sure you look for that.
All right, here we go.
Let's start with third place.
Third place, Mark Johnson. You got third place.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say about all these pumpkins, and I think Mark's was this way, is I've seen these people, they don't actually carve the pumpkin anymore. Have you noticed this? They just kind of like shave the outside, etch the pumpkin, if you will. I didn't know this was a thing.
Well, then you don't have as much guts.
I get it. You still have to do that.
You don't have to necessarily.
You got to put a light in it.
Well, if you want to do the light, or if you want to make pumpkin seeds, but
all right, let's go.
You don't have
Second place. All
right, Rod Barty is second.
Rod got pretty creative in there with all the sponsor logos and everything else.
He was working it. He's like us, man. We're like Justin here. He's always working it. That's for sure. He was
logos all over the place.
That's a cool pumpkin.
And then first place, who do we got?
Go, you take it.
Well, I believe his email said Tommy and Megan. It's actually, I don't know if they're married or just boyfriend and girlfriend.
That we don't know.
But they carved a pair of pumpkins. Actually, one of them's got the bow hunter on it.
I know.
Full draw.
Super creative.
The other one's got the deer that he's shooting at. Pretty awesome. So congratulations to Tommy and Megan. You guys are our grand prize winner. Todd's going to put together those prize packs. And
Monday,
send them out next week.
provided that I do not shoot a deer on Sunday night. I will have those prize packages sent out. And there's going to be some, I promised good prizes. So I already know we got some CanCookers, we got some lone wolf sticks, we got some good stuff. It's going to be good. Good stuff.
And I'm going to throw in an autographed picture of Todd for everybody.
Oh, look at that.
Who doesn't want that, right?
Okay, we'll both sign.
So that's the Trophy Pumpkin Contest. Thanks, everybody, for sending those in. Todd, what do you want to talk about? It's the end of the show. What do we got?
Well, come on. Halloween weekend. We didn't bring our costumes today like we were supposed to. I forgot to bring mine, and I'm embarrassed to say that, but...
You had a costume? I don't own.
Well, I actually was going to take my son's werewolf face mask, and I thought you had something you were going to do to make fun of me as usual. And you
I don't want to make fun of you. I'm trying to be nicer to you.
That is
everybody out there wants me to be. Well, that one guy wants me to punch you in the face.
Yeah, that's not very nice. Whoever said that
was kind of mean.
Anyhow, there's nothing to say but one thing, guys. It's the best time of the year, and you know what? Forget about all this hogwash. Oh, geez, the warm weather's coming. Guys, let me tell you something. I will take any day in November compared to the first half of October, any day of the week. So your odds of shooting a good buck and having some great hunts and just seeing things that you don't typically see, grunting, fighting, chasing. I mean, just all those things that we think about happens, whether it's hot or not. I know that for a fact.
The deer are definitely going to be moving.
Right.
So guys, now's the time to get out in the woods. One thing I do want to mention, I had a guy email me or Facebook message me.
I keep getting the vacation days. When should I take my vacation?
Yeah, I get that a lot, but I
whole
had a
month.
guy email me because he saw my release hanging on my bow in the last episode, and he wanted to know what this was that I have wrapped around my release right here. Well, when I first started shooting a thumb release, this is a hot shot vapor, my biggest concern was losing it, right? So typically you've got a wrist strap that's always on, you don't have to worry about it. Well, with this, I always was worried it was gonna fall out of my pocket or fall off my bow, so I took some reflective tape and wrapped it around right here. So in the event that I do ever drop this thing, hopefully I can find it, flashlight, reflective tape.
Yeah, another good
On my
thing to
way
do with
in or
this
out.
too, and I've done this, and Justin made fun of me, is a lot of times I'll wrap this on my little hooks. So when you climb up into the tree and it's pitch black, very quickly, you just need a very little light and you can see them. And a lot of times you don't even need a light, you just see that white kind of glowing. That's my tip.
That's going a little far for me, but that is what I have on my release. So somebody asked, vacation days, I don't know that it matters.
We get a lot of questions.
November.
No, it's November. You know what? We say the same thing every year. Get out there, hunt, and when you're just about standing up going, you know what? Maybe a hot chocolate would sound real good right now. Stay the extra half an hour.
A hot chocolate. Oh,
No.
Mr. Graff over
A
here.
little
with the
whipped cream.
chocolate.
Hot chocolate whipped cream is good. I don't care.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Bow Hunt or Die. Next week, we've got Mr. Graff's big wide buck that he killed. So make sure you guys tune in. We got
So
some more-
wide it pushes him off the screen.
Oh, that's okay. Nobody wants to see me anyways. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week right here, Bow Hunt or Die.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and receive live updates from our team members as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and Bow Hunt or Die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more.
There you go.
Yeah. Can I wear my big deal Neo loafers tomorrow?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't make you shoot antelope like Neil.
Terrible.
Sorry. Love you, Neil.
Alright, we know where the rangefinder is now, and I'm gonna go ahead and range this all myself since my guy didn't really know what he was doing last time.